Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you're here on behalf of Raz and Burkar or Burka.
I am, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Okay, and Tolzman is here on behalf of Palatz, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, you are ready to proceed on the matter for the Jacksons.
Yes, Your Honor.
We're on the record in the matter of FR Lansing LLC versus Heather and Christopher Jackson, file number 22-02963 LT. Counsel appearance.
Alex Tolzman on behalf of the plaintiff.
Felicity Till, P83961, on behalf of the defendants who are with me via Zoom.
Thank you. Today's the date and time that was set for a hearing. My understanding is that there's been a consent judgment. Is that correct?
Yes,
That
Your
is-
Honor.
That is
Okay.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I would need one of the attorneys to place the terms on the record.
Your Honor, the plaintiff agrees to allow the defendants, Heather and Christopher Jackson, until January 31st of 2023 to vacate the premises. And Attorney Tolzman, could you put the rent to retain on the record?
Yeah, of course. I have a rent due and owing of $3,031.75, cost of $191.75 for a total to retain possession of $3,223.50.
Okay, and Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, you heard the information provided by the attorneys. Are you entering into a consent judgment at this time to either pay $3,223.50 or vacate by January 31st?
Yes,
Okay, you understand that you have to give up a couple of rights in order to do that?
yes,
Okay, so one of those rights that you're giving up is that you have the right to have a trial, and you can have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. You're willing to give up that right in order to enter this consent judgment today?
yes, sir.
Is any threats being made to you to give up your rights to enter consent judgment?
No,
What about any promises? Anybody make any promises to you on this?
no,
Okay, you have 3 business days from the date of today to return to the court. If you leave here today and you determine that you misunderstood any of the rights that you waived in order to enter into this consent judgment, you can request to have the judgment set aside. You would have to articulate or explain to the court how it was that you misunderstood your rights, okay?
yes,
Okay. Ms. Till, will you be providing the court with a copy of the consent judgment, or will it be Ms. Tolzman?
I believe it is Ms. Tolzman who has a copy of the consent judgment.
Okay.
And Ms.
Okay,
Tolzman,
well-
you do have my permission to sign that consent judgment with those terms.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other issues for the matter, for the record today?
no,
Nothing for defendant, Your Honor.
Nothing for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set, Mr. and Ms. Jackson.
all right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah,
And Mr. Brown, Ms. Jackson, you're free to go.
all right. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Carrie Sanders is present. Is Cleveland Ford here as well? You're muted.
Don't believe that he is joined.
Okay. Is he still residing in the property with you?
Yes.
Okay.
He was gonna try, he just started off. a new job and was hoping to be able to break away from it, but I'm not sure if they're gonna let him or not.
Okay, Cleveland Ford failed to appear. Default judgment can be entered. As to Carrie Sanders, did you get an opportunity to meet privately with Ms. Sanders? You don't have an attorney, is that correct?
No, in court, the last time I was able to go into a breakout room with someone from legal services who let me know that someone would be contacting me to let me know if I would be able to be represented or not, but I haven't yet to be contacted.
Okay, our understanding from Ms. Till from legal services is that their office is not representing you at this time.
Okay,
Okay.
I did.
So what we'll do is I'll put you in a private meeting room with Mr. Brown. You can see if you can come to an agreement. If not, then we will proceed with the hearing, okay?
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, no problem. Ms. Sanders is already in room 1. I'm going to move you to room 1.
Thank you.
Ms. Sanders, you need to return to breakout room on your screen.
I don't know how to do that. Oh,
Hello?
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 Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Raz and Bakar LLC versus Kerry Sanders and Cleveland Ford, file number 22-02987 LT. Council appearance.
Yes, Attorney Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
And Ms. Sanders is present without
Yes.
counsel
Yes.
via Zoom. This was for an eviction for non-payment of rent. And I think I asked before, Ms. Sanders, you do not have a pending application for benefits with SER or Sarah, do you?
Yes, I put in a application with SER. I haven't received anything back on decision notice or anything yet. I did it online last week.
Okay. Okay, well, the parties have met privately. Were you able to come to a consent judgment?
Yes, Your Honor. May I put the terms on the record?
Yes.
The key to this consent judgment is to not enter the default as to Mr. Cleveland Ford. Well, we're going to enter the default as to Cleveland Ford. However, we're going to change the writ date. We're going to extend his writ date to the same exact consent date that's going to be on Miss Sanders' consent judgment, which is the January the 31st, 2023. With that said, the rent that's currently due and owing through the end of the month of January is $4,350. The court costs are $241.69. So the total possession judgment amount would be $4,591.69. We've requested a money judgment in this matter also. The prorated amount of rent through today's date, January the 11th, is $3,888.26. Same court cost of $241.69. Total money claim judgment of $4,123.95. And just to be clear, that writ date on both the default to Ford and the consent to Sanders will be January 31st, 2023.
Okay, Ms. Sanders, that sounds like the agreement that you came to in the breakout room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you have a couple of rights that you would need to give up before you could enter into a consent judgment. One would be your right to be represented by counsel. We advise you of that right on your pretrial date. And although you met with legal services, they have not agreed to represent you, likely due to the fact that they probably just don't have the capacity to take every case. But you did not hire an attorney. So you're willing to waive your right to representation of counsel at this time in order to enter into this agreement?
Yes.
Okay, you also have to give up your right to have trial, and you have the right to have a jury trial, or you can have a non-jury trial. You're willing to give up that right today in order to enter into consent judgment?
Yes.
Okay, anybody promising you anything to get you to waive your rights today?
No, ma'am.
Have there been any threats made to you in exchange for you waiving your rights?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today in order to return to the court and request to have this judgment set aside if you leave here and you determine that you misunderstood the rights that you have just waived, okay?
Okay.
You would be required to tell the court how it was that you misunderstood your rights. Lastly, are you giving Mr. Brown permission to sign your name to this consent judgment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so Mr. Brown can submit that to the court. Unless you have any questions for me, you're all set for today, okay, Ms. Sanders?
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Patricia Green, and then I also have Marlon Brownsford and Cherie Preston present. Mr. Brownsford and Ms. Preston, do you have an attorney representing you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in a private meeting room with Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown,
Yes, Your Honor.
were you all set with Brownsford and Preston?
Yep, we have a proposed consent judgment.
Okay, sounds good. Patricia Green, are you there?
Yes,
You have a Eric Hathaway with you?
no, I do not.
Where is Mr. Hathaway? Do you know?
No, he's not with me. He no
Mr.
longer
Brown, can I
he
put-
no longer resides here. I'm sorry.
Mr. Brown, did you catch that, sir?
Yes, that he no longer resides there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll put you and Miss Green in a private breakout room as well.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Brown, were you all set with Patricia Green?
Yes.
It appears we lost her, actually. She does not appear to be on Zoom anymore.
Okay.
All right. Just joined on an iPhone. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, what's your name?
Patricia Anderson?
Sanderson, do you have an attorney?
No.
Mr. Brown, can I put the two of you in a private meeting room?
Pardon me?
Yes.
Sounds good.
What's your name, ma'am?
Jeree Perkins.
You have an attorney?
No, they said I didn't qualify for it.
Okay, whenever Mr. Brown is available, I'll see if he needs to meet with you.
Okay.
Who?
Indeed. Mr. Brown, are you ready on, Patricia Green, I think left. Is that what happened?
She was on Zoom then.
I think they logged out. I don't know if they realized that we needed to put the agreement on the record. Was there a consent judgment?
There was,
Oh, I don't know what's going on.
She did tell
but
me
it was
that.
the same amounts as the default judgment. All we did was extend a writ date.
Eric Hathaway did not appear.
Patricia Green told me that he doesn't live there.
Okay. My understanding is that Eric Hathaway no longer resides in the property.
That's what we were verbally told, Your Honor. I can't confirm that.
Okay. We're on the record in the matter of Christopher Garneau versus Eric Hathaway and Patricia Green, file number 22-02988 LTE. Council appearance.
Attorney Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
Okay, and today was the date and time set for a hearing. We did have Patricia Green present in the courtroom. She met privately with you to entertain possible resolution. My understanding is that there was a consent judgment, but she left before we were able to put that on the record. We're saying that the terms were or the writ date was the same as the default writ date, or you just extended it?
I was going to extend it all the way out with per our agreement to January the 31st.
Okay. January 31st was
Mute,
there is a amount to retain,
mute.
There,
Mute. They can't hear you.
please?
there was, Your Honor. The amount to retain is, the rent portion is $6,892.49. Court costs $260.75. Total possession judgment amount $7,153.24. There was also a money claim. The prorated amount of rent through today's date, today being January 11th, $6,231.20. Same court cost at $260.75 for a total for a total money judgment of $6,491.95.
Okay, well, we'll enter that in judgment in favor of the plaintiff because she logged off and failed to reappear for the hearing on the record, and default judgment can enter as to Eric Hathaway.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any additional matters on this record?
None for me.
Okay, we're off the record on that one. Okay, and then we were ready on Bronson and Preston, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Zima Meshi LLC versus Marilyn Bronson and Sheree Preston, file number 22-02990 LT. Council appearance.
Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
Okay, and we have Marlon Bronsford and Sheree Preston present virtually via Zoom. Parties have met privately in a meeting room to discuss resolution. Is there a consent judgment on this one?
Yes, Your Honor. We're in agreement that the amount of rent through the end of the month of January is $4,117.58. Court costs $241.69. Total possession judgment $4,359.27, with a pay to stay date of January the 31st. Also a money judgment, subtracting out 20 days. Money judgment through today's date of January the 11th is $3,556.29. Court costs $241.69. Total total money judgment $3,315.65.
Okay, Mr. Bronson and Ms. Preston, is that your understanding of the terms and condition of the consent judgment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you're willing to enter into that today?
Yes, ma'am.
I need both, a yes from both of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you understand that you have the right to be represented by counsel in this matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
willing, thank you, and you're willing to waive that right in order to enter into consent judgment?
That's correct, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you also have the right to have a trial. You could have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. You would also need to waive your right to trial in order to enter into consent judgment. Is that what you're willing to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have 3 business days from today. If you leave here and you later determine that you misunderstood any of the rights that you waived by entering into consent judgment, and you can request to have the judgment set aside, you would need to explain to the court how it was that you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and are you giving Mr. Brown permission to sign this consent judgment on your
Yes,
behalf?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any questions today?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you can file that with their permission to sign, and unless there's any additional matters, we're all set on this record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, I thought I brought Mr. Anderson back. Mr. Bronson and Ms. Preston's all set.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Same to you. Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Zohar Group Property versus Patricia Anderson, file number 22-02991 LT, council appearance.
Attorney Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
And then Patricia Anderson, can you unmute your device, please? Thank you. Can you hear me clear? You can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Today's date and time set for a hearing, and Ms. Anderson, you met privately with Mr. Brown, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the parties have come to an agreement. Mr. Brown, is that accurate?
That's correct, Your Honor. We're in agreement that the rent that's due and owing through the end of the month of January is $3,643.28. Court costs $203.19 for a total possession judgment amount of $3,846.47. The money claim through today's date is $3,078.77. Same court cost of $203.19 for a total money judgment amount of $3,281.96. Your Honor, on this case, we're going to put the writ date all the way to February the 10th, 2023, with conditions under further orders. Under further orders, Your Honor, Ms. Anderson has mailed in a payment of $1,895. We have not received it yet. When received, will be applied to judgment. Also, obviously, since the writ date has been extended to February the 10th, another month rent will be due on February the 1st of $875. That will be in addition to this total payment amount. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you give me the money damage amount again, please?
Money damage, 307877. Court cost $203.19. Money judgment 3281.96.
Okay, Ms. Anderson, is that a complete and accurate understanding of the agreement that you entered into with Mr. Brown today?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and so you understand that you have to give up the right to be represented by counsel today in order to enter into this consent judgment?
Yes.
You also understand that you're giving up your right to have a trial, and you can have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. You understand that?
Yes.
Anyone making any threats or promises to you to get you to waive those rights today?
No.
Are you giving Mr. Brown permission to sign your name to the consent judgment?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any questions for the court today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today. If you leave here and you later determine that you misunderstood any of the right that you waived in order to enter into this agreement, you would have to articulate to the court in order to have the judgment set aside how it was that you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Okay.
Okay, unless you have any further questions or issues, you're all set for today, okay, ma'am?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Jury
Thank you, Your Honor.
Perkins. Thank you.
Yes. Get out of this thing.
Okay, please start your video. Okay, Ms. Perkins, I'm gonna put you in a private meeting room with Mr. Brown, okay?
Okay.
Three. And person identified as Shamika,
Yes.
can you start your video, please? Which matter are you here on? Shamika, can you hear me? Okay, I'm not seeing that Shamika on my document. Oh, is she? Okay, I see Santos Hernandez. Why did he put him on?
We also last time talked, we have not been able to find the LLC. She has, proof
Right.
she has one.
Very true. Okay. Can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. We're on the record in the matter of JJV Properties LLC versus Best Academy of Dance, file number 22-03121 LT, council appearance.
And yes, Your Honor, Sherry Hetherington on behalf of JJG Properties LLC.
Okay, and then is it Shamika Best, ma'am?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay, and you're present today without an attorney. Today was the date and time that we reset this matter. There was an issue
Yeah.
as to whether or not you did in fact have a valid LLC. Were you able
Yes.
to provide a tax exempt number?
So after we had got off the thing, I reached out to someone else to guide me through the situation. And I guess the EIN number that we start our board, water, and light with, and our consumer energy with, anything with the studio we have done with, is not that number. That was another step that I had to take.
Okay, so you did not have a valid LLC?
Right.
Okay, so then you're able to, you don't need an attorney if there was no valid LLC. So I think that
Correct.
you all had to some agreement before? Is that what
We
it
came up
was?
with we came up with an agreement, but like I said, after I spoke to someone about the situation, the agreement was not set in front of you, and they just suggested any agreement that I said or done should be in front of you, because they felt like they just were, because they were like, well, we need you out by the 31st, and we hadn't even talked to you, and what if I would have came up with it? I don't know. But in regards to that, continue.
Well, we don't have any, there's no agreement that we put on the record, but I thought you all
Exactly.
met privately and you came to an understanding. I wouldn't accept the agreement because I would have had a concern that you were supposed to be represented by an attorney if it was an LLC, and that was the
Correct.
question. So are you now
You're right.
saying that you, the understanding that you had with the accountant or the attorney for JJB, you don't no longer want that agreement, is what you're saying?
The agreement was that they wanted me out by the 31st of December. But like I said, because they asked me, did I understand what was going on? And honestly, I didn't at first. I had to speak to somebody else. And then when I found out honestly what was going on, because I told them, no, I don't. So they just was like, well, if you agreed, then you need to be out by the 31st. And then when I told this other party, they was like, no, whatever agreement you come up with, it has to be done in front of the judge.
That is correct. We have to put it on the record if you're going to do a consent judgment. So we're saying
Yes,
that
ma'am.
agreement is either a consent judgment or a conditional dismissal. I think you all worked out a consent judgment.
Mm-hmm.
That was my understanding, Your Honor, is that
Okay.
she wanted to vacate the property. I don't know if that's actually
It
occurred.
sounds like it is. I think she said that whoever she spoke to said you don't need to vacate by the 31st because it's not before the judge, is what it sounds like.
Correct.
Is that accurate, Ms. Best?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
I think you said, I'm trying to explain to the attorney for the plaintiff who's in the courtroom, what you're saying is that you spoke to someone as it relates to the status of your LLC, and that person also said that if you didn't put the agreement before the judge, you don't have to vacate by the 31st. I just want to make sure.
I mean, they said, please vacate, but they was just like, the way that he's texting you, are you out of the property, da, 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 wait until the judge says, now go on and go. But just don't be trying to, hurry up.
We have the same understanding. So
Okay.
I did not enter into the consent judgment at the time on the record
Okay.
because I didn't know that if you were in fact a valid LLC, you needed to have an attorney represent you per law.
Absolutely.
Nonetheless, at this point, we realize you do not need an attorney to represent you. Obviously, December 31st has passed. So now we would be working with a new writ date if you are looking to do a consent judgment. Was there a pay to stay at the time, or is it just?
No,
there's no pay to stay. The amount due.
Well, it's for non-payment of rent.
Correct.
Could be a pay to stay.
It could be. My understanding is she's consenting to not be there. She won't have the money to do that. The amount that
how does she know that if I don't have the money?
We don't know, ma'am. I'm gonna find out the amount for you now because there could be a pay to stay. We'll get you that amount now.
Yes, through today, the amount due and owing would be $10,265.55 in rent, $159.75 in cost, for a total through today of $10,425.30.
And 40 cents?
And 30 cents.
Okay. And what are you looking to have the standard 10-day writ day, or were you looking to give her to the end of the month?
Correct, standard 10 day.
Okay, and so what is today's date?
11th.
23rd. Okay, so the writ date will be January 23rd.
Correct.
Okay, so ma'am, if you wanted to enter into consent judgment, the amount to retain possession of the property would be $10,425.30. You would need to pay that before January 23rd. January 23rd is the statutory writ date that if they were to gain possession of the property, or if they were to seek possession even under a hearing, they would get that date. So are you willing to enter in consent judgment for that date and amount as the amount for the rent to retain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in order for you to do that, ma'am, you got to give up the following rights. One was the right to be represented by counsel. We advise you of that right back on your pretrial date in November. However, we've gone over your right to be represented by counsel multiple times, and even the law that I thought you were required to be represented by counsel. So you appeared today without an attorney. So are you waiving your right to be represented by counsel today?
Yeah.
You also would have to give up your right to have a trial in this matter if you want to enter into consent judgment. So you have the right to have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. Are you willing to give up that right in order to enter into consent judgment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so again, you have until January 23rd to pay the amount of $10,425.30 to retain the property, or you need to vacate by that date of January 23rd. Otherwise, the plaintiff can request a writ date and execute that writ to remove you and your belongings from the premises. And so you have 3 business days from today. If you leave here today and determine that you misunderstood that any of the rights that you waive, you have 3 business days to come back to the court and request to have this judgment set aside. You would have to articulate to the court how it was that you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for the court today?
No, thank you.
Lastly, will you give the plaintiff's attorney permission to sign the consent judgment with the terms that we just stated here on the record? If they're gonna sign your
Yes.
name, okay? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We are also asking for a money judgment to be entered in at this time in the same amount of $10,425.30. And my understanding that since there is no LLC in existence, that the defendant would be altered in this case to be Shamika Best.
Okay, so there was a request for a supplemental complaint filed for money damages being sought. The money damage amount in this matter is the same amount as the rent to retain. That's for $10,425.30. And that will be due to the plaintiff. Best Academy not being an LLC would make you, Ms. Best, liable for that amount. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You have any questions?
No.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, Ms. Best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You done?
Okay, Mr. Brown, are you ready with Ms. Perkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're on the record in the matter of Rami Michaela versus Jeree Perkins. File number is 22-02989 LT. Council appearance.
Chris Brown representing plaintiff.
And then Jeree Perkins is present via Zoom without counsel. Ms. Perkins and Mr. Brown, you met privately. Did you come to an agreement?
We did, Your Honor. The rent that's due and owing to the end of the month of January is $4,154.81. Court cost $234.75. Total possession judgment $4,389.56. We have agreed to extend the writ date all the way out to February the 10th, 2023. It's a Friday. Under further orders, at the bottom of the page of the judgment, we're going to add the fact that $750 is due in addition to this judgment. And obviously that is due on February the 1st. The money judgment in this matter is prorated through today's date, today being January the 11th. It is $3,670.94. Court cost $234.75. Total money judgment $3,905.69.
Okay, Ms. Perkins, you understand the terms and conditions that was stated on the record here?
Yes.
And is that a complete and accurate understanding of the agreement that you're willing to enter into today as to judgment?
Yes.
Okay, I understand that you have the right to appear here with an attorney. You have the right to be represented by counsel during this eviction proceeding. You were advised of that right back on your pretrial date. You appeared today without counsel. So are you waiving your right to be represented by an attorney today?
Yes.
You also have the right to have a trial, and you can have a jury trial or a non-jury trial. Are you willing to waive your right to trial in order to enter into this consent judgment?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to pay, or you're agreeing to pay the amount of $4,389.56 or vacate on or before February 10, 2023. If you do not pay that amount or vacate by that date, the plaintiff's counsel can then request a writ on that date to remove you from the property. You understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for the court at this time?
No, thank you.
No problem. Money judgment will also enter in the amount of $3,905.69. And will you give Mr. Brown permission to sign the consent judgment based on the terms we stated here today?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Brown, you can file that, and that will complete this matter. Any additional matters on this record?
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, Ms. Perkins.
Thank you.
No problem. We're on the record in the matter of Santos Hernandez versus Travis McMillan, file number 22-03332 LT. Counsel appearance. There's no counsel. Mr. Hernandez, you're representing yourself today? You're muted.
Oh, yeah, do you hear me now?
I can hear you, sir. State your
Okay.
name for the record, sir.
My name is Santos Hernandez.
Thank you. And sir, what is your name?
Travis McMillan.
Okay, you don't have an attorney either?
No.
Okay, today was the date that we continued the hearing on this matter. First and foremost, the court ordered that you remove the vehicle that was left on the property by the Tuesday following December 21st. Is that vehicle removed?
Yes, and we didn't move it on Tuesday. I did it on Wednesday because we were having a problem with the tow truck.
But it's been moved?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct, Mr. Hernandez?
Yeah, it's been moved.
Okay, is all your personal items out of the property?
Correct.
Okay, is that correct, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes,
Okay, and you did seek money damages on this? Is that what the amount that you were seeking was $1,800? Is that correct?
No.
uh,
May I speak for my husband? He has trouble speaking English sometimes, if it's okay.
Yes.
I'm Mrs.
Your name-
Hernandez,
You're Mrs., what's your first name, ma'am?
Maria Hernandez.
Thank you.
Yes, a property, things have been removed. He moves the vehicle, but he moved it a month later after he moved out.
Okay, but I ordered him on December 31st to remove it. And so it has been removed at this point, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and so you're saying because the property was, where was the property located of the vehicle?
it was in the parking lot.
Okay, and so was there any of his personal items inside the property?
No.
Okay.
And after we,
So your position is that you think he should be liable for a whole another month rent because he had a vehicle in the parking lot? Or the garage?
he got help from Sarah Pran from April to September. And when September came, apparently it pays a month in advance. And we thought that September rent was just for September. So then it explained that it was for October. So then instead of owing that month, we are only charging for the month of November because the last payment we got from Sarah was for September, and that covered for October. So the only thing we're asking for is the last month of November and a late fee of $50. So it's $650.
Requesting rent for the month of November, and what's the amount?
It's $650 for late fee.
$600 was the rent and then $50 for the late fee?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Your Honor, no, they're not entitled to it. I would like to submit this to you right here, Your Honor.
What is that?
This is a letter directly from the husband rejecting the rent that I was gonna pay for the month of November. A direct letter that I would like you to read.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
can I say something? When
You
I
absolutely can.
rejected- Okay, thank you. When I rejected, it was for the month of October. He went to Salvation Army and was just gonna pay for October. But by that time, we had asked before, 2 months before, that we wanted the apartment and the lease was over already. So that's why I
Right.
rejected. Yeah.
It says on here, sir. No, don't worry about it, Ms. Hernandez. It says on here that the reason why they didn't want to accept it because they already had a pending eviction.
And they wanted to give the apartment to somebody else.
Well, that's none of your business.
Exactly, yes.
They couldn't because you didn't move out.
Exactly. And so when I tried to go on Salvation Army and get the money to give to them, they told me they did not want it. In fact, Maria told me to keep the money, to put my stuff in storage and vacate the premises. Because as you recall, Your Honor, on the eviction notice, they had said that I did not pay for the month of September.
Well, they're changing they've gotten their records clear. And they said that so that's not an issue anymore.
Okay, right.
They said that you were paid up for September and October, but you held over the property and you didn't vacate until, you didn't get all your stuff off there until December 31st. I think it's a bit of a semantics as to whether or not the property was vacant on December, but they're willing to only request $600 for the rent for the month of November, and they're entitled to it because you were still living in the property then.
But Your Honor, when I tried to offer the rent to them, they denied it. They told me they did not want it. And
But
that's what the
why?
note says.
But why did they say
They didn't give me a reason why.
No,
They said-
they did, because you just gave me this letter that tells you the reason why. You can take the
Exactly.
letter back. This tells you why they wouldn't take it. They didn't want to continue the agreement. There's a termination of tenancy. So they wanted to make sure that they wanted you to vacate. You had already gotten a notice to quit telling you to vacate the property back in June. So that's why they didn't want to, they don't want to accept the rent. And then you come in here and say, well, they're still accepting my rent. So we still have an agreement. So you can take that back.
But,
They're entitled to that money because you were still living there.
But I'm kind of confused because they were saying that I didn't pay for the month of September.
Well,
My
they're not
rent-
saying that anymore.
Exactly. And so then that's why I asked them, I says, well, I would pay for the month of October. And that's the reason why I went down to the Salvation Army and I offered to pay them for the next 2 months and they refused the money.
Right. Well,
So
when they came
therefore-
here last time, they were seeking past due from September through November. And they were saying you owed $1,800. Since then, you're working out better because they got the clarification as to what the check they got from Sarah was for. Now they're saying that you were paid up until October, but you didn't pay anything in November. Do you have proof that you paid for November?
They didn't want it.
No, they didn't want it per the letter because you were already supposed to be vacating the property and that was in October. This is October. They're telling you were already supposed to have vacated. They're just waiting for a court date, which the court was behind because the floodgates opened for eviction. So they don't want to take your check because they wanted you to be out of that house by November, but you didn't vacate. And so they're entitled to a money damage because you held over. You received a notice to quit and vacate months prior to that. So I don't know if you can go back to Salvation Army and get the money to pay them for that November, but you held over the property in November. They are entitled to that money per law, okay? Okay.
But how am I supposed to pay it when I don't have a job?
That the court can't advise you. I can't tell you how you're supposed to pay your bills without a job. I work.
You see,
I don't know how people pay bills without jobs.
Exactly. See, that's the reason. They know that I'm disabled. And they
Right.
knew that I was using the Salvation Army to pay my bills.
Well,
They knew that.
The Salvation Army won't assist you for the month of November?
No, and that was contingent upon them not evicting me, and they knew that.
You sent them a letter, or you tried to pay them in November. Where was the check?
The check for what?
You said you tried to pay them.
Yes. It was.
Where's that check?
They didn't want the money, so
You had money in hand?
No, I was gonna tell them I could have got the money in cash. I could have borrowed the money, but
Who was you gonna borrow the money for?
I could have borrowed the money from a friend of mine.
Well, you're gonna still have to do that to pay them because you still owe them the money. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right, so judgment in favor of the plaintiff, in the amount of $650 plus court costs. What were your court costs?
None, we did it ourselves.
Okay, sounds good. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff, $650. Any questions for the court?
No,
Thank you. You're all set. Can you print a judgment for me?
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So they give you
Yeah.
Honor.
Yes,
I
sir.
kind of like wanted to bring up a point too. That
Well,
my
they're
brother-
gone now, so